Have you ever had a streak in the gym where you're making gains, you're making progress, everything is going your way, and then like a dumbass, your ego hurts yourself?
Ah! Ah! Ah!
That's actual audio of my last workout that where I did exactly what you're talking about. All right, well, we'll talk about my latest dumbassery in the gym that set me back on my workout routine and help you get back on track with yours in just a minute.
But first, this is the Fit Mess, where together we learn to develop habits that help us live beyond our mental health struggles to create happier, healthier lives.
He's Zach. He lives in the future with his anxiety.
He's Jeremy, and he lives in the past with his depression. And we get together once a week in the present to share the obstacles we face and how we overcome them.
I was taking my own advice from the last show, and I started running, right? And so I had some kind of bad knees. They were a little bit sore. And so, I needed to do something, needed to move my body. So I decided, well, I'll go to the gym on a day I should have run so I could rest my knees. And I'm in the gym, and I'm hearing my own words about, like, you need to you can push harder. You can do a little more than you think. If you have somebody pushing you, you tend to, work a little harder.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm doing a deadlift, and I'm like, yeah, I can do a little more than this week. I know I just added a few pounds on the other day, but I can add a few more. And so I put a few more on. Literally on the way down from my last lift, my back just seizes up. And it's like, nope, that was a mistake.
Dummy.
And I just thought, it's good advice to push yourself outside your comfort zone, but you don't have to do it every single day. Like, you don't have to push it every single time you lift the stupid bar, because you end up hurting yourself if you push too hard too fast.
The gym I go to, we do, it's classes and things like that. And the last few months have been really cool, where like Mondays they focus on squats, and, Wednesdays they focus on something else. Mm-hmm. But it's been like the same thing every Monday. So like you can like go up and up and up and up every Monday.
Right.
And whatever I did the previous Monday, I logged it, and then I went in the next Monday and I ended up hitting like the exact same weight. And I was a little mad. I was like, I was hoping for like at least a little bit more than last time, but I hit the same weight. And then when I punched all my score into the app, like confetti started going all over the place and said you hit a new PR. I was like, what the hell does this mean? Well, what do you mean a new PR? Like, personal record. And I went back and looked, and the week before it was 2 squats, and that week it was 3 squats. So it was like the same weight,
but more reps.
And I was like, oh, okay, well, I guess I did a little bit more. So no, I get it though. Sometimes you just got to be okay with like moving and not beating your prior self.
Yeah. And it just was a reminder of like, I'm not doing this to become a world champion bodybuilder. I'm not doing this to compete. There's no event that I'm just doing this to move every day. Mm-hmm. And so now I've spent the last 4 days resting, sitting on my ass, letting my back not hurt anymore. And I'm like, for what? Like, why did I push? Like, again, it's finding that line. Like, how do you know? This is where a coach comes in, right? Because the coach can be like, you're good. Stay right where you're at. But my coach is a robot, and there's a number, and I lift that number, and sometimes I get cocky. I'm like, I can do a little more than that. And so I got cocky, and now I'm hurt. And luckily, I'm feeling better today. I think I can actually get out and do something. But I just was like, you're going there for what's in between your ears. We're not trying to like grow the 24-inch pythons like Hulk Hogan. Like, we're trying to just take care of what's going on in your head.
The 24-inch what?
The 24-inch pythons. Come on.
Pythons.
That's what Hogan always called his bicep. Anyway,
I didn't know that. I didn't realize you were referring to the gun show.
You didn't watch enough professional wrestling growing up, apparently.
Clearly not. Not.
I was just like, it's so stupid. Like, I couldn't engage as a dad the way I wanted to. I couldn't like take the kids to the pool and throw them around like I normally do. I had to sit in the hot tub for like 2 hours a day trying to rest my back and like be able to move. Yeah. And it was just like this reminder of like, what's the point? Like, what is the reason you're doing the thing? And if it's just to move every day, you don't have to just keep racking on weight. I'm not trying to lift some miracle amount on the bar. Like, just go do enough that's challenging. Push yourself when it feels right, but like listen to your body and don't have an ego about it. Like, again, every time I've tried to lift with my ego, that's when I get hurt. And this was just another example of that. And it was like, okay, good advice. Push, work harder, but calm down a little bit, cowboy. You don't have to go that hard. You don't have to add weight to the same bar twice in the same week just because you're feeling a little good that day.
Yeah. That was the gym I go to. I go there because there's not a lot of ego there. Like, people are really celebratory of you wherever you are, and that's cool. I know the gym I used to go to, I got hurt multiple times because, like, the guy next to me was like, "Oh, that's all you're putting on the bar, bro?"
Right.
And then you'd put more on, and you'd get hurt and do the thing. But my 12-year-old daughter comes with me to this gym now, and like she's 12. She'll be 13 in, oh my God, 20 days.
Wow.
But she's like doing barbell squats with, I don't know, 40, 45 pounds on the bar, something like that. And she's doing what she can. And like right across from her is one of my buddies who's like 6'3", 6'4", squatting 250 pounds. And he like gets done with his squat, looks over, and he's like, "Hey, nice job," to my daughter who's doing there's no ego. You're there for you. It's very cool. Yeah. But I'm at the point now where I think I need a little bit more guidance and personalization in my workouts. So I'm actually going to be hiring a coach to help me like a couple times a week, just to make sure my form is good. And when my ego does get in the way, my form is good and I'm not screwing myself up.
Yeah, it's good to have somebody who actually knows what they're talking about to point you in that direction.
Because it's not me.
Yeah. The other thing that just sort of looking back on my journey and getting me to this point, like in the past, I would have let this completely derail me. I would have just gone like, well, I'm hurt. That's it. I'll just wait until I'm better, and then I'll maybe I'll get back into it. But like every day, I'm noticing I need to go. Like this doesn't feel good. I need to go move. And so it's an interesting evolution. It's one of those points where I can look back now and go like, you've come far enough now where you're trying to accelerate the healing process so that you can get back to it. And I know that when I get back into the gym, the number is going to be lower on the bar because it's been a few days. The next time I run, it's going to be a little bit slower. It's going to be a little bit harder because I've done nothing now for the last few days. But I'm weirdly okay with it. I'm kind of like, okay, great. That's a great reminder of why you need to slow down. Like, there is no race here. There's no finish line I'm trying to accomplish. It's just doing the work every day. And so it's as much as it sucks to get hurt, it's one of those great setbacks that reminds me of how far I've come, that mentally I can suffer this setback, but be excited about kind of restarting and picking up where I left off, I guess.
Yeah, it's a lifestyle for you now. And that's very different. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't have goals and you shouldn't have like, I want to run this fast or I want to lift this much weight. Like you shouldn't. Like you absolutely should have those. However, sometimes it's just about moving your body, and it's consistently moving your body so we don't lock up. Like, this is a great example of what happens when we don't move our body all the time. I was at my girlfriend's house the other day, and I was bending over to pet the dog, and my back was kind of flat. Like I wasn't like totally like bent all the way down, but I was bent over petting the dog. Didn't realize that her 7-year-old son was on the couch behind me and launched himself off of the couch onto my back because I was in like good enough shape. I didn't fall, right? But it took every ounce of my strength to like keep him up, keep him safe, not fall over. But it like tweaked my back a little bit, and like I put him down on the couch and went into my lecture mode of like, don't ever do that when I'm not looking. Like, you got to tell me when you're going to do that. I love it when you do that, but don't do it when I'm not looking. Right. But I hadn't worked out in a couple of days, and it literally like tweaked my back a little to the point where I was like, ooh, I had to go like massage it out.
I might have audio of this. Hang on.
That does sound right. It does.
It was something like that, I'm sure.
Yeah. I think there might have been a sound in there too. But anyway, the point is like, just like moving consistently every day, allowed me to catch him. But the fact that I had taken a couple of days off, I think my back tweaked because I was like a little stiff from the fact that I hadn't been working out. So it's just all about consistency. And you don't have to break the records every time. You just got to be in good enough shape to catch the kid when he flies off the fucking couch at you.
That's the thing, right? It's we interviewed a guy, Alan Meisner. He talked about what is the concept. It's fit for task, right? Like if you're training for a marathon, you need to be fit for that task. You need to be able to run that many miles in that amount of time. If you need to be able to catch the kid who unexpectedly jumps off the couch and lands on your back, you got to be in that good enough shape. That should be the goal. That's the thing you're training for. In my case, it's similar. I have a 13-year-old that still does it. She likes to run up and jump up on us we're just walking down a trail, and randomly she's like, piggyback ride, and like without an announcement, just jumps and grabs on. You got to be strong enough to handle that. Otherwise, she tackles you to the ground, and it hurts, and everybody's crying, and it ends badly. So,
and she's always like, "Daddy, stop crying." You're okay.
Exactly. Yes, it's all tears. It's just a lot of. So to me, that's the reminder. Like, why am I going? For my mental health. But I also want to be strong enough to be able to keep up with my now 13 and 8-year-olds now and in the future, so that I can still whip their asses in a race and on the basketball court. So
yeah, but
that's
also,
what keeps me going.
But it's also like it's such a great point that I don't know why it's taken me like over 40 years of my life to realize this. Like, there's ups and downs, right? And like for so many years, I let the downs get to me, and I beat the shit out of myself mentally because I was on the downside of something. And it doesn't matter. Like, you're going to go back up, and you're going to go back down, you're going to go back up and down. Like, it's just life. And there's no reason to get worried or stressed out about it. Like, definitely don't let it slide. Be like, okay, I got to take a few days off because I did something dumb and I hurt myself, and I'm going to come back stronger. But that took me way too long to learn to be okay with that.
Yeah, I can't believe that we're sitting here now. I'm 47 years old telling you I figured out that like it's not a big deal that I got hurt, and it just is going to take a few days and I can get back to it. It doesn't mean I'm a failure. It doesn't mean I suck at this. It doesn't mean that I'm anything other than this dumb thing happened, and it's just the latest, the latest speed bump on the road to get me to where I'm trying to go.
Yeah. And the other part too is like when that does happen, so like I tweaked my back the other day, right? I can still do other things. Like I can still walk. Like I had to take a day off from like my normal activity, but you can still go do other things. So like make sure that you have all of those bits and pieces of like, okay, this is the thing I choose to do. If I'm going to suffer through this workout, if I'm going to put myself through mental anguish to be better physically and mentally, and this is the thing I'm choosing, and this is the thing I'm okay with, and then you can't do it, and you got nothing else backing it up, you're going to have a problem. So have like just a backup plan of like, okay, well, I can't go lift weights. Well, I'm going to go walk. Well, I can't ride my bike. I'm going to go do this. I can't do this. I'm going to do that. Like just a backup. That's the next suitable, thing that you can tolerate.
All right. Well, I'm mostly recovered, so it's time to go move my body. I got to go do something today. I might walk. I might run. I don't know. We'll see what I can tolerate, but what I do know is we got to get out of here. So thank you so much for listening. If you've gotten anything out of this conversation, please do share it with somebody who could benefit from it so we can help others who struggle with the same stupid things like we do on a weekly basis. Thanks again for listening. We'll be back next week with a new episode at thefitmess.com.
See you, everyone.
We know this podcast is amazing and it doesn't seem to lack anything, but we need a legal disclaimer. Prior to implementing anything discussed in this podcast, it is your responsibility to conduct your own research and consult your physician. You should assume that Jeremy and Zach don't know what they're talking about, and they're not liable for any physical or emotional issues that occur directly or indirectly from listening to this podcast.